Eagle Community Television presents Community Connection with your host, Mike Cooper.
Hello and welcome again to Community Connection from Eagle Community Television, our community connected. Thanks for watching, and thanks to our producer, Jeff Durall. We're at the Moss Thorns Gallery in Rarick Hall on the campus of Fort Hays State University as we talk art with Professor of Art and Design at Fort Hays State, Linda Ganstrom, who for some 20 years has been a very integral part of the Department of Art and Design at Fort Hays State University. Just coming off a busy week, too, hosting the high school art exhibit that took place at Gross Memorial Coliseum. Linda, with some, I guess, 60 schools participating, 1,500 students. Sounds like art's thriving in western Kansas.
It certainly is, and there are a lot of students and their teachers who are so active, and they enjoy this opportunity to get together once a year and showcase the high school art. So they set up all their art over there in the Coliseum, and they have it judged. And then while they're waiting for the judging to take place, they come over here and tour the art department. So we had all those 1,500 students come through our ceramics lab, and the Fort Hays students then demonstrate. They show how to fire pottery. They threw on the potter's wheel, they hand built, they worked with molds. So the students get to see quite a variety of things that the college offers that they might not have in the high school. So it's inspirational to my students to get to see those young artists, and we hope that the high school students are inspired to be creative as well.
As we arrived, the kiln was just being cooled down, and Linda opened it for us, and we got a chance to see inside some of the works that are displayed. That's quite a process.
It's pretty exciting. So one of the wonderful things about ceramics is that you always have this experience of opening the kiln. It's like opening a gift at Christmas. So most of the time it's a wonderful surprise, and you got to see the beautiful pieces that were in the kiln today. So the students will be very excited to see what comes out, and then they're going to share that with the community next week in the gallery walk.
I think Jeff got some shots of the kiln as it was being opened and some of the pieces that are displayed. This is the gas-fired kiln, but you also have others as well here in the department.
We do. We have a lot of electric kilns. We have several gas kilns. We even have a propane kiln outside. And if you go out of just about 5 miles out of town, we have a burn site where we have a pit fire, and they can do like Native American type firings.
But you're having a new kiln delivered soon, I guess.
We are. We're expecting our new kiln in June this summer. So we'll have brand new kilns that are computerized and more efficient. So I love my old kilns, but I'm looking forward to making new friends.
I was going to say, this is kind of like an old friend that you're saying goodbye to, isn't it?
Trusted old friends.
Well, we're in the gallery here displaying the Fort Hays State Student Honors Exhibition. Talk a bit about it, Linda.
Well, this is a very elite show. This is so wonderful. Every year, the students that are in the fine arts get to submit work, and they get to choose 3 pieces or a set of 3, and then they submit those, and we hire a judge from outside our department to come in and look at them with an objective eye and choose the best of the best. So from hundreds of pieces, the judge narrows it down to 50 or 60 of what he feels are the most elite quality works, and that's what you're seeing here. So there's fabulous pottery by Jordan Brown, beautiful paintings, sculptures by Kayla Hearn. Kirsten has got some sculptures here, and many of these pieces will also be seen at the gallery walk. So the students will take them out of this gallery on Friday, and they'll edit, and we've got a floor plan that we've talked about, and we'll bring these things to Salon 1007, where the students are hosting a show called, let's see, what do they title it? It's Process Yields, Manipulations in Clay. So they were talking about process, and the idea of process is both a noun and a verb, and then yields as in a harvest, but it also, the process yields to individual creativity. So they came up with a very clever title.
So don't miss that Salon 1007 downtown for the Fort Hays State Student Exhibition. Some of the artists will be there, I'm sure, to talk about their work.
Oh, they will. This will just be the ceramic students. So other students might be showing in other places. For instance, the sculpture students are showing over at the Robbins Center, and they'll be sprinkled all around town. But the ceramic students will be at Salon 1007, and they should all be there most of the evening talking about their work and visiting with people and educating people about art and just sharing their enthusiasm and passion for art.
And a very important part of this that Linda has highlighted is your attendance at these events, because this is a feedback the students really like, is to know that their work is enjoyed, right, Linda?
Exactly. This is like the batteries that they run on. So the students enjoy making their work, and there's a certain kind of energy that comes from just the process of making, but when it's done, they often feel like the process is over. But what gets them so connected to the community is that when the community sees their work and gives them feedback, then they feel energized to make new things. And if someone buys their work, they are thrilled. So they know that the work has a life beyond the studio, that it moves past them and goes out into the world. And hopefully it inspires people or just causes them to have a smile or maybe to even contemplate life a bit more. So the students are definitely motivated by showing their work. My students love to get out and show things. So they have a pottery sale, and they'll have different kinds of events that they do throughout the year. But the spring gallery walk is the highlight of their year, and they look forward to it and plan it all year long.
You touched on something that I think is so important and integral to the arts, whether it's music or drama or theater, whatever it may be, or of course the different various forms of art. It really touches us at a different level.
It does. So if you're a responsive person, you look at it and you might just be at first maybe attracted to a color or a texture, or maybe you imagine what it would feel like to touch the work. But then there are also kind of deeper stories in the work, and so you might look at one of Kayla's creatures and imagine where it lives and maybe how it feels sort of alien in this environment. And maybe that reminds you a little bit of being uncomfortable in a situation yourself where you felt sort of alien. So it's beautiful, but it's so unexpected or so unusual. And you can see that here with the little tentacles on the pieces. They're sort of reaching out in a playful way, trying to touch other people. But you're like, I've never really seen anything like this. So it's imagination and creativity and innovation, all of these wonderful things that we try to teach our students so that when they leave school, they can set up their own studios and become artists or function as creatives in lots of other ways. So we have some students that are looking for jobs in arts administration, some teachers, some studio artists, and there are a lot of people interested in community arts now. This has been a new field where they're working with things like the Hayes Arts Council or setting up independent businesses where they're teaching lessons, offering just kind of party experiences, experiences where people can get together and meet that doesn't necessarily revolve around food or drink, but it revolves around a creative activity. So that's very interesting.
Talk about, during the gallery walk, Sharon McCoy's work, the Master of Fine Arts thesis exhibition that Sharon will be displaying.
Sharon McCoy is a unique artist. She is super talented and highly accomplished. She came here to begin working on her MFA about 4 years ago, and she lives in Alamosa, Colorado, and has a wonderful studio set up. She's kind of a mid-career artist, but she wanted to take her work from being nationally recognized, and she's very well known in her region, to really being an international artist of the highest quality. So she's worked very hard with that goal in mind and has had great success. She just recently was in the National Student Exhibition, and her work was sold to an international art collector, so that was one of her goals. She's been in a number of books, so she's in a book that's coming out that's international. I believe it's published in Italy. She has about 5 or 6 galleries now, and she also published a book. So she's met all of these different goals that she set for herself, and her work has been seen in Hayes. She's been trying to build a local audience during the time that she's been here, so she's had work at Chris Cooksey's gallery, and this will be even bigger and better. So she's dealing with the idea of flights of fancy and how you might sit back in your chair and take off on a daydream. So she's going to have the gallery full of these one-of-a-kind original chairs, and then the characters and the creatures that she imagines in the daydream. So she's going to invite viewers to come in and sit down and just spend time daydreaming as well. And she'll have her book here, and I think she's going to do a reading of her book. So all of it's really designed around the idea of imagination, that you don't have to be an artist to use your imagination. You might use your imagination in looking at the art.
And this will be in the Moss Thorns Gallery.
This will be in the Moss Thorns Gallery, so this room will be totally transformed by next week. Sharon has big plans. She has walls of bees planned for this area. She has a figure that's flying. It's called Help with Flying, that will come down out of the corner. And so it's like a girl on a raft held up by birds. So they're very elaborate pieces. A lot of them have like little parts that are electric, or so you might have a blinking light or something that moves. And many of the pieces have a propeller. So she's interested in the idea of how art propels your imagination.
And the gallery will be open during what hours during the walk?
The gallery walk? The gallery walk is different times throughout the city. So some of the earliest places are going to be like the Sternberg's usually early. I believe that the Presbyterian Church is starting at 5 o'clock this year. The Hayes Arts Council has their pre-party, and then most of the things are open from about 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock.
Before we get too far along, I certainly want you to talk about an upcoming event that's going to be a significant part of your life, and that's that trip to New York for bringing your ceramic pieces.
Yes, I'm very excited. I'm going to be exhibiting in New York in June with a group of women artists. All of them work with ceramics, and they all work with the figure. Cindy Billingsley is organizing it, and she has a kind of an interesting agenda. She wants to show ceramic art in a variety of venues, and this is our fine arts venue. So this is at the National Women's Association for Art, and it's in New York City on 86th Street, and I believe it's 5th Avenue, so it's got a wonderful address. And we'll go set up in June, and then it'll be there for a month. And during that time, it'll give people the opportunity to see ceramic sculpture, and primarily the figure, offered in a variety of different creative ways. So I made an Alice in Wonderland, and then a red queen and a white queen, and they'll be displayed as a group of 3. And so I'm going to show those pieces at the Spring Gallery Walk down in Salon 1007.
So those will be available for us to see prior to the trip to New York.
A preview before the New York trip.
Terrific. Talk about your influences in art.
Well, I have many influences in art. The person who taught here before me was Daryl McGinnis, and Daryl still comes around, and of course that's just, he's been such a huge influence in my life, and always so supportive and, you know, challenging, and had great conversations. I remember when I did my MFA show that he talked about creating a forest of figures. So I always still hear his voice in the back of my head. So that would be a huge influence to me. My husband's an artist. He's another big influence. And there are professional artists that I enjoy as well, like Michael Florian Yolk's work has been an inspiration to me. Kiki Smith is an artist in New York whose work I really enjoy. So Ann Hamilton is another artist. She was originally out of KU, and her work is inspirational to me. So there's a variety of artists like that. But most recently, I've been inspired by my students. So often they come up with such great creative ideas. So Brenna Cole is the student who is very interested in the Alice in Wonderland theme. So her interest and passion for that kind of led a class project, and from that, then I kind of spun some of my ideas out from that and did a week as a visiting scholar at Cotty College in Missouri called Move Me, kind of based off the Alice in Wonderland of Eat Me, Drink Me. And we made movies and did performance art and had a variety of different events and activities, including a Mad Hatter's Tea Party and a performance of Bells in their gallery. So I find inspiration in lots of different places. I also just find inspiration in the landscape. So I grew up in Stafford County, and my family farm is right next to Quivira, so that's an important part of my life. And of course, my grandchildren are always full of inspiration. So I use my granddaughter as my model now. So she's my model for Alice. And my daughter is one of my models for, I believe she's the White Queen. So anyway, family, land, and artists, they all come together. And I think that's what artists do or creatives do, is they bring in all these different influences and then sort of process through your own personal experience. And what comes out through your hands has to do with the years of experience and expertise that you've developed in materials and processes.
Well, a long history of successes, a long history of wonderful professors that have inspired students, and apparently that works both ways as far as what Linda is telling us. Here at the Moss Thorns Gallery on the campus of Rarick Hall at Fort Hays State University with a professor of art and design, Linda Ganstrom. Our community connection. Thanks for watching.